started. So, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is a special session and requested by some of the folks, and we are having this session on the request of a lot of people. As you know, probably most of you do not know me, so let me give my quick introduction. My name is Sanjeev Khoth. I live in Denver, Colorado, and as part of supporting the communities and our overall team members across the globe who are part of cohort 1, cohort 2, we lead these sessions every week, but a lot of requests have come from team members that Krishna sir should take a session because there is a lot of things happening in the world with AI coming in, layoffs happening, people don't know what to do. So we thought it would be good to give why people stuck and then what happens and how they should think about their career, what they should be doing. So just that was the background, and with that in mind we wanted to have this session just to give you a quick background and a quick introduction about Krishna sir, and then maybe Krishna sir can jump in. Krishna sir himself, right? Myself, I'm associated with him for almost now 25 years. When he was a CEO and MD of one of the company in India, I met him, and since then we are connected. And he is the CEO, managing director, board member for a lot of companies, and also advising to a lot of multinational corporations today. And when I was in the mode of growth, I was not really getting where I should be going for help. And Krishna sir himself and mentors helped me, and I requested him, sir, why don't you share your knowledge to folks so that people can grow and achieve their career aspirations and also achieve their dreams. So interestingly, he said, yes, Sanjeev, this is what probably I think we should do, and we should help people. And with that in mind, Krishna sir, being, MD of a lot of corporations, so he spent almost his 30 plus years career in multinational corporations. You name it, oil and gas, healthcare. He also worked in auto components, chemicals, and in various capacity as CEO and MD in various companies and across the globe. So that knowledge of 30 plus years of CEO experience compressed in just 1 hour, we are trying to get whatever we can. So with that, I just would like to give this floor to Krishna sir. There is an echo coming in. I don't know why. Maybe because of me. So if you have not put phones on mute, please make sure your phones are on mute. Okay, good. Okay. So with that, I'll hand over the floor to sir. And there are a lot of folks across the globe here, and there are folks from India, US, Philippines, Europe, other countries. So we will not go with introduction, otherwise we'll take 1 hour to introduce everyone. With that in mind, sir, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Sanjeev. Good morning and good evening. Just before I start, how many of us here are totally new to this session? Just to have a feel before we start.
Yeah. Hands up.
Yeah, thumbs up or hands up so that we could.
Okay, Bhavani, Uma, Nagendra.
I am as well. I can't find the hand up icon, but.
Okay, sure. Tracy, yeah.
Me as well, Sanjeev.
Yeah, good. Jitendra, yes. Sir, many, I think more than about 60% maybe new people.
Very good. Excellent. Good. So let me just, why I ask this question is, because I see people who have been in the cohort as well. So for them, it would be sort of maybe a repeat or a refresher. But for the people who are new, let's have a very, very thorough and open discussion so that I would request, the cohort people as well to jump in and answer if something is coming up from the uh, attendees who are first timers for this introduction. Good. Can I request for a share now, Sanjeev?
Sure. Yes, sir. Perfect.
Done. Okay. Can we see the share now?
Yes.
Good. Excellent. So let's start up the session. The idea of this session is to give you, overview of what is going to help you. So please be open. Do not have any inhibitions in asking any sort of question, whether it is small, big, or whatever sort it is. Okay, that's the interaction I would expect during this session. Don't worry about the simplicity of the question or complexity of the question. Just shoot it out. Let's just start up. Okay, now let me start by thanking Pragnya Cultural Society, which is offshoot from a thought process from Raga and her team. I am so happy and privileged to be working with this cultural society, which is actually doing a lot of, I would say, more than social humanitarian work in terms of getting knowledge onto the people, especially to the younger generation. So thank you, Ragan team. And without wasting time, let me move across. Of course, thanking Sanjeev and his team for having organized the logistics of it. Now, you see, the question says, especially from all professionals, there's a profound question that is in the mind. Why am I not able to move fast as I wanted? Let's leave alone the comparison with respect to peers and others, doesn't matter. But then the question which is profound in all professionals' mind is, what is the reason that why I'm unable to move as fast as I would want to move? What is that is being holding back from my end and from the assessor's end, that they are not able to see something in me? That is what exactly we are going to look at. So the question of why is very clear, that has been specified. So I always start like this: if the why is clear, then the how becomes very easy. This is always the case in all walks of life. For example, if we tell you, you will have to take possibly a protein, take this protein, which is this many percentage of your body weight, take this fiber, take this. So if you specify like this in terms of how, it is going to really have some, inhibition and resistance. But if the why is known, probably you have, sugar, or you have a cholesterol on the border, then the how becomes very easy. So this is always the case in life, that if why is made clear and powerful, the how becomes easy in handling it. So I am happy that Sanjeev and Raga and team has taken this why very clearly. So we are going to see what is the clarity on how are we going to do this. Now, today's session, success matters for all of us, but it matters how. This is what I'm going to talk. This is very clearly the root cause of success for all meetings, the programs, the trainings, whatever you attend. There are two things. If you have come here to attend this session because somebody has told you that you have to attend this session, and then probably you start seeing value, that is one section of people. The other section of people is that they have understood what it is and they want to attend. So the moment you feel that you want to attend this session, then success is already with you. There are, of course, some people who want to make sure that they don't discard their words of their friends or somebody, and because of that they have to attend this session. Doesn't matter, attend, and then you will find as you go along if this is going to be useful. Now, coming on a journalistic aspect, in all the corporate trainings, this is a crux for why the training is not successful, because many of us go and attend the program because we have to attend. We have been asked by the HR to attend the program. So the moment you think I have to attend the program, whatever content it is, whatever the level of audience it is not going to be successful with many. Few will find, with involvement, the benefit of the program. But if you have gone there that you want to attend the program, you will grasp everything of it. So I request every one of you to, have this in mind. Not even now, in any program you attend, make sure that you have that wantingness that's available with you, so that the subject that what you're being talked, what you're listening to, gets the best benefit out of you. And before we go ahead with this, what we are going to look at is, in the next possibly 1 hour or so, we are going to look at what is going to help you to get answer to that in terms of how. Before I start this, I want to talk about the learning session. This is, many of you would know it. There are 4 steps that every one of us go through, irrespective of what topic, subject we take up. The learning goes through this process. The first stage of learning, we'll come to that later. The second stage I'm coming to that is called conscious incompetency. That means you're aware that there is a skill need that is missing from me. That conscious incompetency, like for example, the great example taken is always, maybe learning to drive a car. At some point of time, we know that we don't know how to drive a car. So we become conscious of the incompetency what we have. That very specific need is a wanting need, that you want to learn to drive. That conscious incompetency drives you to learn. Then you start learning it. So the competency becomes conscious. That means you practice the skill, you fall many times. Success is not at the first time in anything that you do, which is, we all know it. So as you start getting into conscious competence level, you start practicing it, practicing the skill. Use this on your daily or your appropriate area, so that competency starts developing in yourself. The moment the development takes place, it gets into mastery, which we call an unconscious competence. That means now you can drive the car without even knowing who or what was on the road in specific. You just drive. That unconscious competence is what sets in mastery level. This we must know. Why? Because whatever we are going to talk today is really going to help you to understand that you have now understood you are in conscious incompetence level, that there is something, that skill you need to know. And what we are going to talk is, we are going to give you the how of it. That means, what are the things that you need to understand and you need to practice. So we are going to get you to a conscious competence level, which is what the whole crux is about. The moment you learn it, you gain the knowledge, and then you start practicing it. The period of practice gets you to mastery. This is what we are also going to look at in the professional life as well, including personal life. The same thing is applicable. So today you've all come into the conscious incompetence stage, because you have the question, you have the want. You're going to get the how, practice it, and then you will start getting into the unconscious competency stage, which is a mastery of it. So any questions so far in understanding before I move to the next phase of it? That means absolutely clear for everyone. Is that so? The mic is muted, Sanjeev.
I think people are a little hesitant to talk. So I think it's open questions to everyone.
Open, just be open. This is nothing right or wrong. I'm not going to evaluate anybody. Nobody is going to evaluate each other. The idea is to, in the leadership, is to get open. ask questions if you have any doubt or any clarification. As I told you, no simple, complex questions, no easy or tough questions.
So this makes a lot of sense to me. I think it's like when you end up with something in muscle memory, that's the equivalent of mastery here. Yeah.
Precisely.
Perfect. Yeah.
Good. Should we move to the next now? What I'm going to do is a very simple exercise for all of us. A very simple exercise. What are we going to do is I'm going to give you some real life, because all of us have got, if I'm right, have got at least about 10 plus years of experience in the professional life. All of us here, right? Especially I'm talking specifically addressing the first timers who are coming into this. All of you must have minimum 10 plus years of experience. If anybody has less, can you just put your hands up just for me to understand? Is somebody in 10 plus years less? Nobody.
Nobody. Everyone is
Good.
10 plus. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, that's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you simple real life cases. Now, this is not a question. This is going to give you some statement. Now, if you agree with the statement, you score it as 5. If you maybe not, maybe yes, score it as 3. If you completely disagree with the statement, you score as 1. So I would suggest, please take a pen and paper, just simple, wherever note you have, because we're not going to write anything, just to note down the numbers. There are going to be about 5 questions, and you just have to score between your agreement to disagreement. Full agreement is 5, disagreement is 1. So just note down 5 numbers. At the end of the session, just total this and send it on a chat message to Sanjeev. That's what is the request. Can we start the session now? Yeah?
Is everybody have pen and paper? We just need.
Yes.
Okay,
Just
perfect.
pen, paper, pencil, whatever is the case. Or if you are mentally very good, keep 5 numbers in your mind. I'm no problem. Immaterial. Good. Okay. So let me put the first question on it. Ask me if you have any doubt on this situation. Okay. You are a team leader handling prestigious projects in a company. One of the occasion, one of the member could not catch up on schedule. So of course that resulted in failure of the team and yourself. And few members have this problem of catching up most of the time. So what you do is, in order to rectify this, you do a very assessment of this potential issues that can come with every project, and take that member, sit with them and complete the task. Now this method has given a lot of positive results. You're able to keep up all the schedules of all the projects. You started delivering well on the results, and the entire team and yourself are getting highly appreciated and have a good name. Of course, this also gives you good performance and pay. So this is the status. So if you agree with this, it's 5, little is maybe 3, or no is 1. Just put the number of your thought that is coming. There's no right or wrong answer in this. Okay? It's not mathematics to say 1 plus 1 is 2 or something like that. It is just what you think. That's all. Done? Can I go to the next one? Okay, let me go to the next one. If anybody is holding back, just stop me.
Everybody is clear. Okay, we are going to the next one. Yes.
Yeah, next one. Okay, you have been recently promoted to head 2 functions in addition to the one that you are holding for many years. Now, with the elevation, you get to approve budgets in the new role. And the function you were associated, you know it very clearly. So when you have the budget to allocate, you allocate to that function, because you know very well that function needs it and has been waiting for a long time, and it can deliver result. So you allocate to the function where you come from. So you agree with this, or mildly agree with this? Good. I'll go to the next one. Your operations head of a Middle East region of a big US multinational. then one day you are suddenly flown into New York office, for a half-a-day discussion on the guidance issue because of the current economic, turbulence that's happening because of all those, we know it, economic and political issues that happens. So when you have an opportunity, because there are every region who comes to the place, so when your turn comes about, you beautifully articulate what issues you face, how are you solving problems. You have got a lot of frameworks, and assured the top team that you will do the best to get it solved. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, the fourth one, there is a specific product in an organization that's facing customer rebuttal, means customer issues. So CEO called for a meeting with all the people, and the sales said the operators are incompetent to deliver the product. They don't have sufficient skill. Then the HR came and said, you see, we have done a lot of skill upgradation. We have qualified everyone and qualified with the third party as well. The third party has confirmed that the scoring on the skill of their operators is higher than the competition, what sales is referring to. Then the CEO says, if such is a good skill gradient we have done, then the competency is not a problem with operators as the sales head is talking. Then he says, sales head, go back and find the root cause or the real root cause objectively. Okay, we go to the 5. A product launch is slated in a couple of weeks, and the entire office is pepped up for this. Emails are being prepared for launch. One of the assistants mistakenly sends an email to the customers. It's a mistake, okay? But the sales head becomes very furious and says that you must fire this person. But you as a CEO says, firing is not correct. You say, sales head, you go find out the root cause. Do it objectively relating to data, process, etc. That's what the CEO, you as the CEO says this. So anybody has any questions on this 5, or can we go ahead? All good? Maybe just thumbs up with your guys.
I'm just assuming that for keeping the last question, in each question, whatever the CEO or role, we need to assume ourselves that we are in that place and we do the same thing or not, right? Is the way you have to answer, right?
Sometimes you are the case, sometimes the situation is generic, immaterial. So here in this last case, you assume as a CEO and then you say that firing is not the right one. Go ahead and find the root cause objectively. So in this case, you are getting into a CEO role.
Thank you.
So you all need to sum it up and go to chat, and you can also put your individual. So you can only send it to me or you can send it to everyone, whatever your total score is.
Yes.
So on the chat box, you can put, select my name and you can send it to me directly. Or you can directly send in the chat box. Okay.
Yes.
Do you need a name as well, Sanjeev, or just a response?
Just a response. No need name. You just keep your score with you so that we can reveal. Yeah, if everybody has done, just give a thumbs up.
So we can move on to the next.
Yeah. Perfect. Yes,
All
sir.
done?
All done.
All done. Good. Now, just leave it. Now we'll go to the next one where I'm going to give you the success formula for life. This is the actual formula or the how for the problem what we have. Okay, please take this, I would say, very intently. This is something which is proven with AI, without AI, anything, because it is much more with respect to the growth of an individual. What does it look like is something like this. The level of competency over level of ownership must be greater than 1. This is your success formula for professional life. Once you have this arithmetic in place, you just need not worry. You will get easily spotted, you will get easily be picked up, you will get easily be, felt by the leadership team that you are a person who is ideal to take on the next role. So what is this about? Let's understand what is competency, because that's what we are calling it as level. So level of competency to the level of ownership must be greater than 1. Okay, I'm going to go up now. Tell you what is competency. See, competency consists of 3 aspects. One is the knowledge. That means what it is about. The next is knowing how to get this done. So you have to have a knowledge, you have to have the skill, and you have to have the right attitude to get it done. Only if 3 exist together, you have good competency. Assuming that I have good knowledge and probably I have got the skill as well. If I don't have the right attitude, then that is what is called as skillfully incompetent. Now, many of us should understand where we are in the competency. So you should become a skillfully competent or skillfully incompetent person. That's what we need to understand. Now, many of us think that we are skillfully competent. This is where the analysis should come in terms of competency, to say you have the knowledge, you should have the skill, and you should have the right attitude, so that you become, that's what level of competency means. Now, I'm just stopping here, open you for discussion, because this we must understand this point very clearly. Any thoughts, any questions on this competency? Because this competency is what is going to take you upon life.
Request one more time repetition.
Yes. See, the competency of a person. Say, for example, I'll give an example before getting into again. Say, I have a good knowledge on playing keyboard. Okay. Then I also have the skill that I can play the keyboard very well. I join a band, but I don't have the desire or the attitude to play the keyboard there. That desire doesn't come out with me. That attitude is not there. So will I be competent enough for the band? No way. I may have all the knowledge and the skill, but if that desire in me is absent, then I definitely, from the eyes of the band, I am an incompetent person. That means I am not competent enough. This is what is the sum and substance of having knowledge, skill, and the desire to do it. That is what gives me competency. Otherwise, I will just have a skillfully incompetent fellow. I have knowledge, I have the skill. It is only a burden on me. You see, because I cannot do anything. I'm not going to be recognized. So that absence of desire in me, because of the skill. If I don't have the knowledge and skill, ignorance is bliss. I have no problem. The moment you have knowledge and skill and absence of desire and attitude will make you heavy. You become skillful but incompetent. We think we are competent enough because we have such knowledge and skill, but the absence of the attitude and desire will make others feel I'm incompetent. That's why the competency is consisting of knowledge, skills, and attitude. There are certain things like knowledge where you go and learn, and the skills what you go and learn, but attitude is something you go and learn. But then the practice of the knowledge, that is what is from knowing to being, is what matters for success. This is not in professional life, including in personal life, including many in spiritual life. They may have a lot of knowledge, but they may not have attitude or desire to practice it. So it becomes knowledge heavy for such people. So whenever the knowledge and skill exist without the right attitude or desire, then it becomes heavy. You become incompetent, but you are skillful. So today when we are talking, we are going to talk of all the three combined together that gives you the competency. Once this competency is up, ownership, what I mean is the functional ownership in an organization. Like you grow up, maybe one functions, two functions, multiple functions, varied functions, different regions. As you start taking ownership, the moment your competency doesn't exist when you are given, then you are sure for a failure. This is why the Peters principle says, as you grow up, you are pushed to the level of inefficiency or incompetency. This is what happens because many people get promoted because the boss feels that there is somebody has gone and there is no person available. So this fellow gets promoted to that place. The problem is the ownership increases, but unfortunately the competency doesn't. That
Sir,
is
I have
where
a question.
failures. Sorry?
I have a small question or concern regarding this concept.
Yes.
Mm, regarding the desire part.
Hmm.
The confusion, or maybe many of the majority of us, maybe at least for me, is do I really have the desire or not? Meaning that, for example, if I want to grow in the leadership level,
Hmm.
I am, if by theory, if I have a desire, I need to push myself to grow to the level.
Hmm.
But there is some mental blocks or something hesitancy stopping me to move
Hmm.
forward.
Hmm.
Do I need to look at it like I don't have a desire or not? But again, the moment if I see any inspirational leader, even in my company, my manager or CEO or somebody speaking, I get, hey, I want to be like them.
Hmm.
So that thing is giving me a feel like, hey, I also want to be in that place. So that gives me a feeling like, yes, I have desire. At the same time, if I try to push it, there's so many things I try to avoid it, or I will not push back myself. So do I need to say, okay, it's not my cup of tea. I just want to be in my shell. I like this thing. Maybe I may be getting. It's like a filmy fantasy kind of thing. So how to identify that whether I have a desire or not on a particular thing? I don't know whether this is relevant to here or not, but when I'm actually trying to process this thing, the desire aspect, this is what I got.
Good. What I'll do, I will very briefly touch upon here. Maybe at some point we can talk on this in detail. May I know who is this? Is this Srikanth?
Yeah, this Srikanth,
Okay,
your
good.
regular student.
See, whenever you get such type of jolts, is just impulsive inspiration is what you have. Okay, the continuing that inspiration to get to a attitude that changes on a continuous basis is what needs some practice. This is what I see in you. So you get an impulsive inspiration when somebody talks, correct? But the thing is, should not end there. So you need to create a practice within you to get that inspiration, continue to flow in you to get the right desire or attitude, to use that as a tool to get you moving up. So maybe we can talk on specific, aspects of this a little later, or maybe one-on-one. But that's important because many times we get inspired like this with people. But inspiration is impulsive; it does not continue. Now, inspiration is something that comes up, within ourselves. That within ourselves to constantly keep it going is what is important. That we will talk on it maybe with you, Srikanth, when a time permits, one-on-one.
Sure.
Someone named Tracy raised her hand.
Yes, sorry.
Just
Yeah.
want to make sure she's not missed her question.
Thanks, Satya. Please have a look. Yeah, I'm not
Also,
looking at that screen. Yeah,
Audrey's
good.
hand is
Yeah,
also up
Tracy.
for a while.
That was on accident. Sorry.
Okay.
That's good. No problem.
Can we check Audrey because I have seen her hand for a while.
Sorry, Jay, I'm not able to hear you properly.
Raga.
There's
Raga?
Audrey.
Audrey, sorry.
Audrey, go ahead. Audrey, do you have a question?
Yes. So,
Go ahead.
okay, this might be a stupid question, but I'm going to ask anyway. So, I'm a chiropractor and I deal with a lot of patients. And when you talked about competency, I reflect on my patients because some of the stresses that they have is that there is a question of competency. And then the question is, how do people in a professional setting raise their competency? And it sounds like a simple question. Say, for example, say you're working in a financial situation, right? And I can always hear from what they're saying, that maybe they have to do a project, and in that project they really don't have a clue how to get it done, or they're not clear about how to get it done, right? So I can sense that there's a competency issue there. Now, then the question is, sometimes I'll just say, talk to your manager, discuss it with your manager. But is that a good thing to do in an environment? Because I can also sense that they don't want to, their lack of competency, but they also don't want to expose it, and so it's like in my professional setting, if I need to increase our competency, I just go and attend a seminar. That's it, right? There are ways for me to improve my competency, but I can sense in my patients, through my patients, that in their environment, it feels like there's limited ways that they can improve their competency.
Okay, if I have understood your question rightly, Doctor, you see, let's take let me answer one of the case studies what we had seen, where we had a salesperson, sales head who was talking that, the operators could not do well, they are incompetent. HR says they have been given a skill, and then, once the skill, they have been qualified by the third party as well to be above the competition. You all recall that we have taken that case. Now, what is the actual answer to that now? Now, the CEO says, okay, that means if the third party has qualified that is a very good skill available, then the operator's competency is not an issue, and let's get on to find the root cause. What is the answer to that case? Anyone?
Sorry, I can only give my answer from what I've heard from my patients, okay? And what I hear from them is like, okay, management may have given some resources as far as competence is concerned, but whether or not the resource can get the project to the finish line is another, right? And and then sometimes the resource is there, but it's not in a very directly applicable manner. So the team members are still stuck with, okay, we still haven't been able to solve the problem and get the project to the finish line. This is what I hear from my patients.
True. See, in corporates, everything must get to numbers. There is nothing other than numbers and money. So if somebody somewhere at some point need to understand if the resources are sufficient or insufficient, they need to understand the numbers associated with the project, whatever type of project it is. It could be a highly technical project or a bio project or a waste management, anything it is. It is always numbers that speak to the corporate up. And every resource allocated is with respect to return that project can give with respect to what the top leadership has assessed. That's fundamental. In any type of business it is. That means you put X, the leadership is looking at maybe 1x, 2x, 3x return from that project. Now, if as a person on the project, if you are able to decipher and understand this, success is yours. If you are blank to that, then probably you don't know, you feel the resource is insufficient, but is the resource why it is insufficient? Maybe that it is not creating that much return, but if you can know that it's going to create a far better return, you have the methodology of approaching the leadership to say, this is what the return this can give with respect to this investment.
Mm.
Because there is always sandbagging at every point in a corporate world.
Yeah.
Sandbagging is absolute at all levels. So this is what in one of the competencies, what I'm going to speak is the, unfortunately, many of us here, I don't know, many of us here may not have that financial acumen. That's one of the topics that we touch during this, because anything as you go up, you need to have feel for numbers in an organization in whatever you do. Either it is going to be approval or a project or an investment or a capital or a revenue, anything has to be in terms of numbers. And because we all know at end of the month, end of the quarter, end of the half year, end of the year, what is done as a result is only numbers. So every action of yours must deliver to that number. And we should know what that number is. When I do some project, I must know what I am stacking my deliverable on that number. Many may not have access to this, many may not understand what it is. But the crucial to success in going up is to understand what am I delivering in the project with respect to numbers. Then you can really see whether the resource is correct or not. There is no point that any leader, even if you sit in the leadership, if somebody comes and says, I need 10 more people or, $10 million more, nobody is going to say yes to you. So you must to know objectively to understand what is that number you are going to deliver and what is the input that is going to go as an investment to create an appropriate return on that project. I know it's not easy answer. It's not an easy answer. But that's when, as you grow up in the leadership, you must start understanding the numbers.
I
And
think
I'm saying it's not easy, it's not difficult, but it is not easy. It's not impossible to get it.
what I hear from you is that each team member must almost have the attitude of a business owner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you get it.
And that wherever you are in the organization, you can think like a business owner. You move ahead. And I think to the other person's question, it sounded like the answer would be, if you can start thinking like a business owner, then you will really have the passion and the desire to wanna. When you own something, you want to do something. And I think that's where the passion comes from and where the energy comes from, that you can't wait to get out of bed to get that project done.
Very true. Very true. That passion is what will take you up from failures. That you fall once, you don't get worried by it. You fall twice, you don't get worried by it.
Yeah.
You don't get in the professional field, you don't get selected once, don't worry by it. If you don't get selected twice in an interview attend, don't worry by it.
I think,
doctor. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking, I hope I'm not taking too much time, but this one more question would be then, I say when I'm with my patient, right? I think, how then do you motivate someone to think from that point of view? Anyway, that's a question you have to answer.
That's a good question. I'll come to that later, which is what I always say, the crux of happiness in life. I've said this to my team. The crux of happiness in life is very simple equation. Can any of my old cohort say this? Just the equation?
What's the question again?
The crux of being happy in life is a very simple equation.
Just to be happy now, right?
But how you do that? How do you do?
Prayers divided by Shreyas should be equal to 1.
Exactly. You have gone too far now. Very simple. If you are doing something which is good for you, that is what gives you happiness in life. Because many times we do the job which is good for us, but we don't like it. Because we need money, we do the job which we don't like it. So many times in life, we do something that is good for us, but we don't like it. The moment this gap exists, your life is not happy. Your life is most happy when you do something which is good for you and you like it. For example, I need to do a weight loss, but I love sugar. I love this. So what is good for me is not something I like. I have to do it out of force. So the problem always exists with everyone. So that is why when you have some passion, which is what you think you like, but when it is good for you, then the life becomes sweet. But it doesn't happen to us all the time. So the biggest clue is love what you do now. So you become happy. Because I go for a job, I don't like the boss, doesn't matter. I have to love the job because that is good for me. So it's very rarely that people who like something and get an opportunity in life to do what they like. So that's the crux. So
That's
let's
only
come.
10%.
Sorry?
That will be only 10% of the people, not all,
10,
not all of them.
even 10% is very high in my opinion. That is why it is always say you start loving what you do.
Correct.
You start liking the job. When you start liking the job, which is good for you, happiness sets in. The moment you are able to, I mean, you have frustration on the job, which you don't like, but you have to do, then frustration moves from us into the family, to the, people.
It reflects on all directions.
Yeah, that's always there. So you have to understand that this equation must be, balanced in life. For example, I should not go to training at all times. I go attend the seminars and this, but that's not something which possibly, my passion. But I always say all of us in the family must ensure that your passion to priority of greater good must be understood well. See, I may do a lot of, say, for example, I may do, let's take a good one, not a bad one. I do a lot of, go for a lot of seminars or, satsang or some guru is coming. I attend all the time, everywhere, 5 days a week I attend. What you need to understand is that is passion, but is that sacrificing your priority for greater good of the family? You must understand. So what must come up in life is the priority for greater good than your passion, to have that balance. The moment somebody will take that focus on their passion, it may sacrifice the greater good of the family and create I would say frictions and things like this within the family. So we must understand what is a priority for greater good with respect to my passion and make a good balance. Good. So now let's coming back to competency. What we are now going to address is the ability of one's getting knowledge on, especially on finance, as doctor spoke about. We will talk a lot on finance to understand how it is done in the sessions what we have in the cohort. But let me just go through this faster so that I get the things completed. Now you see the leadership. If you look at anybody talking on leadership, nobody talks of technical aspects. Everybody talks at any point of time on behavioral aspect only. There are three, for example, let's take, there are, CPAs available in an office, 4, 5. Technically, everybody is competent enough, but then only one is given the CFO position or floated up. So it's not the technical knowledge that matters after a certain point. What matters is the behavior of a person. That is the attitude, desire, how you do it, what matters. So for many of us, the technical strength was a skill as we entered in the primary life into the profession. Beyond a certain point, we must understand that skill is a weakness for us. This is what is called as an inflection point in one's career. Usually the inflection point, comes somewhere between 10 years to 15 years in professional life. That if you don't understand this inflection point in your career, then stagnation or even deterioration is bound to happen. Deterioration does not mean going down in scale. Deterioration means the lesser and lesser chances of graduating up. So this strategic point or the inflection point is what we need to know where we are in. Now, if I can put across, I'll tell you, when we had these simple questions to you, this is what this strategic inflation is about. Now, for all people who have scored, you yourself know it. If you are between 1 to 5, then you have really understood knowledge, skill, and the desire. Desire, I presume everybody has it, but the knowledge and skill in terms of growing up is something very great, is adaptable, and you can succeed very well. But if you're between 6 to 15, the lot of stagnation could happen. And 16 to 25, you need a lot of opportunity. You have to improve yourself. This is what is a score that you must read from what the simple 5 questions we had. Maybe Sanjeev, you can throw on the statistics what we have.
Yeah, so I think most of the people, almost 95% and above, are, sadly, again, about 16 and 2025. So majority of most of the scores I can see 11 onwards. So there are not less than anyway. So there are people who are between 6 to 15, about 10%, but remaining are above. So everybody gave more than 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. So that means we have a great opportunity to learn this. Now, if you look at this, this is the result is not something new or completely vary from what happens. The idea is, as you start looking at issues, statuses, and problems, your thought has to move from a technical skill into something what is known as a behavioral skill. That's exactly what is required in terms of understanding and knowledge. One aspect important is understanding of the financial aspect of the business, because everything has to be numbers. So we talk a lot on the aspect of what you understand from knowledge and your skill, and we also talk on the attitude portion. So what we have done is, in order to get you this knowledge, skill, and the attitude, we have got a framework, what we call it as is a music framework. Now, what does the music do is gives you all the three. So I'm going to quickly run through what does this MU-SIC stand for. M actually stands for a mindset. This is what you need to adapt yourself in terms of how you handle people. Now, the current trend that is happening in the industry or the business is that you need to have, this is what we call a contradicting emotions that has to be built up. You have to be certain, but you have to be changeable. You have to be vulnerable, but you need to be strong. You need to be cautious, but you need to be bold. You see, this is what. Now, how do you get to this is what we speak, or we go in detail of understanding the ingredients that form the emotional. We will not even talk of emotional intelligence or emotional quotient. We talk of the ingredients that form this, so that you touch every ingredient, your emotional intelligence and your quotient goes up. This is something we look at in depth in terms of what M stands for, which is the mindset, including the color energy. How do you understand the people? How do you understand the problem? And things like that. So this is what we talk on M in the framework. Next, we talk on U. This is crucial for us. You need to understand finance. Now, you don't need to be a finance background for this. What we speak is basically with respect to understanding profit and loss, balance sheet. This is what you see. And these are all what we touch is basic understanding. You don't need to do accounting, or you don't need to sign off any balance sheet or anything, but you can understand it very well. Now, what we do is we just don't understand fundamentals, but we open an annual report, of a company. We open an annual report, we read through it, and we discuss it. We interpret it. The idea in a leadership is to interpret finance, is not to write a books of accounts or not knowing what is credit, debit. Just forget it. What we are going to look at is understanding and interpreting finance. That's what is important. We'll also look at how CEOs and CFOs approve projects, on what decisions they approve. And this is something which is very open. This is nothing which is closed doors. Every company, every CEO, CFO has got methodology on which the project is approved or not. So if you know it, you can know whether the project you are taking will be approved or not. Doesn't matter that it should go to them for approval. If you know it, you can understand why the project has been rejected. So we just don't talk from writing accounts, we talk from understanding it, understanding from your functions, understanding from multiple functions, understanding organization, then understanding how projects are approved, then understanding how stakeholders or shareholders see the results, how your vendors and suppliers see your results. So how you see from inside, how you see from outside. So this is what we see. Again, here, there is no finance background required because we are not trying to understand books of accounts. We are trying to understand and interpret financials. So the other advantage is if you are going ahead with interview with a company, you can always look through the financials and understand how good the company is, what is interviewing you. You can understand from it what are the new projects they are going, what is the strategy for the next 2-3 years. You can understand. So before you attend an interview, if you go through those, if it is a public company, then you can have much more information than what you think you know. So this is what we really understand from the financial aspect. We go through in a view of understanding. Then we also understand, on a macroeconomics and market dynamics level in terms of policies, pricings, discounts, what is GDP, what is inflation and things like this. Because you as a functional head must know what it is. So we go through in detail. Again, interpretation is not that we are going to draw charts and graphs. We interpret it. And I'll tell you from the financial understanding and interpretation, it's all common sense.
What is this?
That's all. There's nothing more beyond it. Sorry, Kiran?
I think there was a miss. So we have only 3 minutes left. So maybe we need to.
I'll just, yes. And of course, we also touch on stock markets to understand what is stock market, how is the investment going on. We don't give any recommendations, but we only make you understand so that we ensure that the risk and the pluses are associated with the stock is understood to you from investors and stakeholders' point of view. Then we go through strategy. This is an important aspect that we must understand. What are the building blocks? How does the organization think strategically? There are many times the projects is not strategically viable. So even though if it is good, the top leadership may say your project is not approved. So you must know the strategy of what is it going on within and outside the company. We talk of this in details. And next is influencing. Now, this is what influence is without authority. How do you do that in terms of how you communicate, how you create trust capital? What is the methodology with top communication? How do you present yourself? What is presented when you speak to the top man? All this we see in this. And last is consistency in how you do things. Because as a leader, people should see you as consistent in every situation or decision or the tactics, what you do. So that's what we see. So this is a framework, what we call it as MU-SIC. This is mindset, understanding, strategy, influence, and consistency in terms of what you do. Let's open it up for discussions now.
Yes, sir. If you can stop sharing. Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes. Anybody has any questions on, this session? And then also I'm going to put some announcements, what's happening so that you all are aware.
I mean, this Srikanth here. I'm a repeated student. But for the new people and all, if you could able to articulate or summarize that how this session or how this course is going to be like, what are the various topics we have to cover that can help us to keep where that can help us. Currently, so far I understood that, yes, we are going to touch on financials, we are going to touch on competence, etc. But do we have any curriculum? Can we see the curriculum? And so that at least we will be ready to aim for that level. Make it or not a different story, but at least what are the topics that we think that can help us to grow the leadership level for an individual contributor point of view, from an individual contributor.
Can I just give a testimonial for the class? So I'm not a financial person. I'm a healthcare person, okay? And the only reason why I am doing this program is I want to know the life of my patients. I want to know what kind of stresses that they have to be in day to day, and what kind of skills that they can develop. What I found in the program is that there's actually a lot of self skills one needs to have. Okay, Krishna sir will guide you through this process, and sometimes rising up the level is not just about acquiring more skills. It is about shifting your own perception of your own mindset and your own perception of where you are versus where how to put this. It's the distance or the direction where you are with the goal you need to get to. Okay, it's a very, very subtle shift, but that subtle shift makes all the changes in the world. All right, so it's what I've learned so far is the most valuable aspect is the internal shift that I don't think we learn in school. I don't think you will learn in a magazine, but you really need someone who is on the other side, who's gone through the other side, to guide you and to tell you exactly where to look at, where to shift your eyesight. That little shift, and that's what he calls the inflection point. That little shift makes your trajectory completely a different direction. That's the value it brings to this program.
Thank you. Yeah, and just for everybody to know, we are going to have one in-person 2 days session in San Diego. Krishna sir will be traveling and will have that planned with Pragna Cultural Society. So that's the plan. And also we are currently running cohort 2, which is led by Krishna sir, and then even Audrey and all are part of this. And Satya, you're all part of cohort 1. We're all. So we have a lot of things going on. If you are interested, you want to really grow faster, be better as a human being, how to really be, happy in life. So everything, holistic approach is being taught. So you can join if you are interested. And you can reach out to any of us, myself, or, any of your friends, whoever has invited you here.
I just need a few minutes, but I'll let Anita go first before
Go
talking
ahead.
about San Diego program.
Yeah, Anita, and then also Jitendra. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, Sanjeev and the Krishna and team, and thank you for Raga for organizing this. Great session, very insightful and helpful. Some of the questions at the beginning of the session where you had asked us to rate were really thoughtful. I mean, most of us at work, we're full of emotions, right? We work with emotions. But when we are leading organizations, when we're leading functions, business acumen at the same time, applying our emotions, looking at the big picture is very important. I think your last question was that, right? Whether the CEO is supposed to fire that person who was exposed to sensitive data to other customers. So it really requires business acumen at the same time, looking at a bigger picture and seeing the organization bigger than ourselves. Thank you, and looking forward to your in-person sessions.
Good. Thank you.
Jitendra, you had a question, so sorry, we're going to bring you.
Yes, sir. Good evening. So it's very informative section. So I have one doubt. So how you analysis this KSA, like knowledge, skill, attitude, like in person, there is some certain questions, or according to the what the job profile we have, how it will be work. So that's my question. And
Okay.
then how the gaps will be fulfilled, the breeze between this gap and the things we received.
Okay. The prerequisite is nothing to do with knowledge or anything. The prerequisite is the desire first to learn. What we do is that for example, let's look at the finance. And I'm sure that many of you may not be, having a full awareness of what finance is about of a company, what the finances are in a function or a department, or with respect to KRAs or KPIs, what you do, or how is it seen from a leadership level. So what we do is, in these sessions, we give you a overall understanding and interpretation knowledge of it. Then we give you the how, the skill of, say, for example, you have a project, how the project gets into an approval process. What happens at the table of a CFO or a CEO? How does it happen? So that skill, what they are using is what will be, deciphered and told to you. Because this skill is not something which is secret in any leadership level. Only thing is, it is not brought out. As I think doctor said, you don't have a school that says this. How is it done? The idea is we bring those skills to you so you understand how it is done. You may not have the power or the authority or the position to do it today, but you know how it is done. So that is a skill that once you have the competency of, because I'm sure you always have the desire and attitude to get it happen. So we give you that knowledge and the skill and attitude. We do it in terms of, as I think somebody before this said about the mindset and emotion. How do you handle situations? That is what we give. For example, in the last question, as she pointed out, just to give you, I'm not taking more time, Sanjeev. In that, what should be the actual response of the CEO? We'll take only one question, as I think somebody brought out. I'm sorry, I couldn't get the name of that person. Sorry, who's that, Satya?
Anita.
Yeah, that was
Anita.
me. Yeah, Anita. Yeah.
Anita. So I'm just giving an example of the same topic, what she said. What should have been the response of the CEO? Just open. Is no right and wrong answer.
If you are the CEO, what will you fire that person, or what are you going to do?
What is that?
See, I think if the legal team and if the HR team evaluates the impact of the incident that had happened, and CEO must consider, the legal team, HR team's input into consideration, and if it requires laying off that person, he must do, because there are a lot of implications to that incident, right? And stock might fall, and customers lose trust, and the customers would like to see what corrective action the organization has taken, and thereby it might be saving hundreds of jobs, right? At the same time, this is like the description was missing a lot more finer details, so we need to look into how critical was the data and what was the response from the customer. So all those things need to be taken into consideration. But I think I gave a rating of 2. But if the impact is high, yes, then immediately should they take the corrective action, and since he's responsible to board as well, right?
Good point. Okay. Anybody else?
I support the same version. Primarily, the CEO, whatever decision he takes, should think like, I am the CEO, I am the authority, not like that, but he's supposed to be considerate about the company and what is good for the company point of view. So that's where consulting the legal team or HR team and the respective teams and collect the feedback and go with the data and do what is the good for the company rather than his instinct or anything.
Good point. Okay. Now, not taking much time, let me put the point of view what a CEO should take. Okay. All of you had the right, I would say, view, but the problem is you had a view that is more internalized to the company. The problem, what we must look at, is external to the company. The first what CEO should take is containment with respect to the customers in the market. This is internal that has happened. If you see the scope, he says immediately get down to root cause, don't fire the person, get a HR and legal. It's all secondary. The immediate action that is required is to look outside, enterprise view, to say that what can be done to moderate what has happened in the market or the customers, depending on whatever the situation it is. Or maybe if the product has gone, a simple product or something, maybe giving discount or giving some sops to the customer or the person or the distributor, immaterial. So the first action the CEO should take is looking from The company perspective, which you all said, but the problem is that view should become enterprise view, not an internalized view. That's the first action the CEO should look at. And I think Srikanth said is greater good of the company from an external perspective. So if specific customers have been, gone the information, what type of information, how can we have a containment action with those people before getting on to corrective action? That's the way you look at it from a CEO's perspective. Good. I think, Anita, you gave two, which is correct. Because the idea is to look at from an external containment action perspective and then come back and parallel do something internal, because that's already happened. You need to prevent what has to happen in the future as a person at the top, as a leadership. Same with respect to your team. If something has happened, we always get back to see what has happened and correct it. No, the first idea is to have a containment in place on the front, whether it's an internal customer or an external customer. Get that containment action in place. That's a mindset that what we do in one of the mindset activities of our framework. So when you have a specific issue, where do you put your mindset in order to get into containment and put your hard stop and say, get this done, and then get back to see an internal view. So that is the moving from an expert to an enterprise view to say that you're looking at greater good from an external enterprise view than looking at corrective action, which we are all tuned to. We immediately want to take corrective action, we immediately want to take objective, we want to take people. But the idea is to move from that type to an enterprise value. I think that's what I wrote down what Dr. Audrey said in terms of internal shift. That's what we need to do. Good point. Yes. Thanks, Anita and team. Yeah.
I think, before that, I think Gururaj, you raised hand. So you want to share something?
No, nothing specific. Sir has addressed it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those,
just a quick minute.
Okay, sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but little. Okay. Anyways, fine. Go ahead.
Okay. I just want to share a quick thing. I was part of Sir's cohort earlier, and the perspectives and the lens that has opened from me from being in an executive chair. Usually we don't get to talk to people every single day and get their perspectives, but it has opened a lot, and the mentorship that I received are incredible. That's the reason I personally requested that please host a session in San Diego. Many people should be, we should make this knowledge accessible. And the session in San Diego is being hosted on September 27th and 28th. It's like last weekend. Everyone in San Diego would recommend joining it. It's very, very reasonable amount, not minor, but I would recommend people to leverage this opportunity, because this is not something we get on a day-to-day basis. Such access and opportunity from someone being in a C-suite.
Raga, sorry, it was 26th and 27th, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, probably, sir.
Yes.
26th and 27th. That is right.
No, I had a question from one of the team, that why am I giving this openly? See, usually it happens that a boss, when you are so good, you become competition to him, so many things get suppressed. You don't tell. Even it happens to us. When one of our team member is so good, you want to suppress many things because you're afraid that he may go over you. So today I don't have that problem, so I can give it up easily because I've come past that and retired. So don't worry that I will hold up something. That's what I told him. He said, how can you give? How do we know that you are giving full? Because the boss doesn't give me all those. I told him the biggest difference is boss is still working, but I don't. So I've come out of it, so I can give it to you to take it.
Yeah, and also this knowledge is, again, a lot of CEOs there, but it is very hard for you to get the access. So now a CEO is ready to give the knowledge back to society. So those people who are really aspiring to grow and want, I think this is a great time in history that, you can take advantage, and then you can grow faster. Not only within your organization, but anywhere outside as well.
I see Suresh.
Yeah, I have one quick question. This is regarding the age, for which age group this is going to be more helpful. See, I'm already reached to certain level, but the level which I started and I reached, I can admire myself like, okay, I did a great job, but I can do much better than that. But some of the family responsibilities, all other things also get matter for that. So now I want to pass this message to my son also, so that he will the point which you mentioned, like within 4 years, people should understand, and then they have to shift their gear towards growing up, either into the like managerial level or so. I want to pass that message, but at the same time, if I want to switch my gear towards becoming much better person, so in that aspect, how this program is going to help us?
Two questions, let me take it. One is the aspect what you brought out, looking at your son as well. Now, you see, when we started this probably, 3 years ago, Sanjeev, 3, 4 years ago, we, thought that they should get on to people with minimum 10 to 15 years of experience so that they can relate and correlate to the case studies and realities of a professional life. That's what we thought. Okay, but now, as you rightly said, I don't know what your son's age is, but I think probably about 3 or 4 months or maybe 6 months ago, McKinsey has come out and said there's a study which says that this type of things must get on to people with maybe 2 3 years of experience in business or industry. They said that the lifespan across is shrinking so fast that they are trying to get this across with people with 2 3 years of experience in industry. So as you said, right, Suresh, probably your son and others must start looking at it, and probably we will also start tuning the case studies not so harsh and then making it more addressable. But I think what you said is very true. This needs to get on with people with much younger in experience as the time goes by. You are very true. I think that's something which I also appreciate and must get on. That's what we are also looking at, because currently we are looking at people maybe 10 plus years or so that they relate and understand. But as the understanding, the experience, correlation is going up, probably the years are coming down. So in the same relation, on the higher side, I don't think there is any limit for somebody to know this, because there are some points which will go beyond the profession into personal life as well, Suresh. So I personally feel that this is something which does not have boundaries of age or boundaries in terms of your profession. It goes as an individual, on a shift internally. That is something which probably will help in both personal and professional, because I personally feel, and which is true, that you can't have two faces of yourself, one for personal and one for profession. If you have that two faces, it's going to be very difficult in life to live. So what you do in profession must what get reflected in personal, and what you do in personal must get reflected in profession. Otherwise, you will spend more time in your personality than on something else. So this is what I feel, that as you start practicing things, this is something which I advocate very strongly. This is what you get to a mastery level of unconscious competence level. So if you are having good mindset, that should become mastery level. Unconsciously, you must be competence in that level. Every time you go to conscious competence, that when a situation comes, I tune myself to behave. In the personal life, I tune myself to behave. That's going to put a lot of stress for all of us in the coming age. So as the progression takes place, you must get on to a mindset or the behavior which is right across boundaries of your profession or personal. Then something, brilliance will happen into getting a more stress free life in the current scenario. So I don't see a problem in terms of age boundary.
Yeah, my son is at 25, so I'm thinking it is the right age to start thinking towards this. And that point, whatever we missed it, and I'm in red zone. I can say that it's not red zone. Um, uh, uh, from the place where I started, and frame to point where I reached. I'm really like I'm happy with that. But at the same time, I still I have ambition to still grow, and my total experience is 40 years of working.
Excellent.
So still, I'm planning to do something better than this. That's my motto. But initially, my perspective was totally different. Like I have to grow. Now we should grow. So that is the kind of attitude I got in. Thank you.
Excellent, Suresh. Excellent.
Yeah, and for those of you who do not know, probably know, if you go to an MBA school or a big school, you pay tons of money, and then the what you get is a classroom session, not a real world experience. So here, the fraction of cost you'll get real world and all the insights, and also this is a lifetime community. We have created a community so that everybody can help grow. They're like-minded people, and they will help you grow, and then also there will be opportunities we'll share to each other, so you will grow as the this particular community grows. With that in mind, we're almost more than 21 minutes now than scheduled time. So I will thank you for attending and hope you've got the insights, knowledge, and you can apply it to your life. And we wish you all the best. If you're interested, join our cohort. Cohort 2 is already running, and we'll have more cohorts coming up, and then in-person session in California led by Sir. And Raga, thank you for hosting it, and you built a great community, and I'm hoping to see you all in California, along with Sir. Thank you. And those who are if you have friends in California, just tell them to attend. They will get everything, all that cohort thing, plus an ongoing one-on-ones with Sir as well. With that, I'll say, have a great day, good night, or good evening, wherever you are, or good afternoon. Thank you. Bye.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Satya. Let me stop.